Exposed, my grandson's heartwarming words at 12 changed everything. Discover the incredible truth. The air crackled with anticipation in the small Midwestern town of Maplewood as Jack sat in the front row, heart thumping against his chest like a drum. His grandson Timmy had poured his heart into a speech about family and sacrifice that was about to light up the old town hall. It felt like the whole world was watching as Timmy, bright-eyed and full of spirit, would take the stage and share the remarkable tale of Jack's life, a life that had never been easy but was woven with strength, love, and unyielding hope. Jack looked over at Timmy, his little champion, and a knot tightened in his throat. Timmy had always seen his grandfather as more than a war veteran and mechanic. To Timmy, Jack was a hero, a steady rock in turbulent waters. Jack raised Timmy alone after his father walked out, and while they lived quietly, the burden of economic hardship lay thick between them, rarely spoken but always felt. Jack worked hard at the local garage, his grease-stained hands a testament to years of labor. But behind the unwavering facade, Jack wrestled with pride and the fear that they were not enough. One day, as school approached with a family history assignment, Timmy uncovered layers of Jack's past stories of sacrifice that inspired him to craft a heartfelt tribute. In a flood of emotions, Timmy poured everything into his speech, each word ringing with the essence of the American dream. He wanted his classmates to feel the grit through Jack's journey, a life filled with struggles, resilience, and a commitment to family that shone brighter than any material wealth. As Timmy stepped up to the microphone, the room quieted. "My grandpa fought for our country," he began, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. "And then he fought to raise me right." The audience hung on his every word. Parents exchanged glances, feeling a collective weight as they recognized their struggles reflected in Jack's story. Timmy went on, weaving a beautiful narrative of love amidst hardship, igniting a fire in everyone's heart. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As the whispers of recognition swept through the crowd, something shifted. Voices once hushed by the weight of financial struggles began to rise. Jack's heart raced with pride, but fear flickered in his gut. What would this newfound recognition bring? Would it draw eyes to their silent battles that had stayed hidden beneath the surface for too long? As the evening carried on, people approached him, sharing support and solidarity, but Jack felt the pressure mounting. The lines between pride and vulnerability blurred, and he stood at the precipice of revealing his own truth, a truth that could connect their community or tear down the walls he had built. Just as he prepared to step into that uncertainty at the upcoming town meeting, a sudden disruption rippled through the hall, louder than the thunderous questions swirling in his mind. Would he find the courage to speak up? Would Jack crack open and expose the hurt he had kept sealed away for Timmy's sake? The answer danced just out of reach, leaving a cloud of anticipation hanging heavy in the air. The town meeting arrived faster than Jack expected. The old hall was still buzzing from Timmy's speech, a kind of energy that made Jack's stomach twist. People were eager, they wanted to connect, to share their stories, and somehow, in the back of their minds, they looked up to him now as a symbol of resilience. Yet, he felt like a deer caught in headlights. As he took his seat among familiar faces, the weight of unspoken words pressed down on him. Families were huddled together, kids squirming in their seats, eyes glancing back at him. Jack could feel the tension in the air, a mixture of excitement and apprehension. He remembered how he'd always wanted to be strong for Timmy, how he had always worked to hide the cracks in their world behind a brave facade. One by one, speakers took the stage to share stories of struggle and triumph. Each tale chimed with the rhythm of hope and desperation in equal measure, tugging at Jack's heart. It ignited something deep inside, a longing to share his own journey, yet fear held him back. Would they understand? Would they see him for what he truly was, a man trapped between the burdens of the past and the bright future Timmy deserved? Finally, it was his turn. Jack stood, legs trembling slightly as he walked to the front. As he took a breath, the crowd turned silent. He glanced over at Timmy, who nodded with an encouraging smile. Jack's heart swelled with pride but also with the weight of every untold story hovering just beneath the surface. "People see me as a soldier," he began, the confidence in his voice wavering as it echoed against the wooden walls. "But what they don't see is the soldier I had to become at home, after the war." His voice faltered, but there was no going back now. He pulled in a shaky breath and pressed on, allowing the words to spill out as he bared his heart like never before. Jack spoke of the nights spent worrying if they could make rent, the bills piled high on the table, the silence where laughter should have been. He shared how he learned to fix cars, not just to pay the bills but to hide the struggles he was facing. He talked about longing for companionship during cold nights, how the memories of war still haunted him, and how he promised himself that Timmy would never feel that darkness. As he opened up, he noticed the audience shift. Faces softened, some even nodded in understanding. These weren't just strangers, they were neighbors, friends, and families who had felt their share of burdens. Their eyes began to glisten with tears, not just for him, but for their own hidden struggles. When Jack finally finished, a heavy silence settled. No one moved for a moment. Then, one girl from the back stood up, clapping slowly. It started a ripple, growing louder, until the whole hall erupted into applause. Jack's heart raced, not just from the standing ovation, but from the feeling of unity. They were all in this together, each person a thread in a larger tapestry of struggle and hope. As the meeting concluded, Jack stepped down from the stage, fatigue washing over him like a wave. He felt lighter, freer, even having shared that burden. But there were still shadows in his heart, questions about what this newfound courage might lead him to face beyond the safety of their small town. Would he be able to confront the memories that had been silent for so long? And, more hauntingly, would he prepare Timmy for the tougher battles waiting down the road? The possibilities trembled in the air, hanging just out of reach. In that moment, embracing the challenge felt like a bond forged anew between them. As Jack walked out of the hall, he glanced back and caught Timmy's gaze again, shining with pride. But somewhere deep down, the haunting question lingered: could they truly escape the past, or was it destined to rise yet again? When Jack stepped outside, the cool evening air felt refreshing against his flushed face. He closed his eyes for a moment, inhaling deeply as if to capture the warmth of the crowd's applause. The sounds of laughter and chatter surrounded him now, a stark contrast to the weighty silence he'd experienced on stage. Timmy rushed out to meet him, his cheeks flushed with excitement. "You were amazing, Dad." He grinned widely, the kind of smile that lit up his entire face. "I could see everyone nodding along. You inspired them." Jack ruffled Timmy's hair, feeling a swell of pride deep in his chest. "Thanks, buddy. It was scary, but worthwhile. Can we go get ice cream?" Timmy asked, bouncing on his heels. The request, so innocent and typical, knocked the wind right out of Jack's hesitation. Here was a moment that felt so ordinary amidst the extraordinary weight they had just shared. "Absolutely. Let us celebrate." Timmy hooped, and they moved towards the local ice cream stand, laughter pouring out of them. The stand was a beloved neighborhood spot, with vibrant colors painted on every wall and laughter pouring out like an endless stream. Old friends greeted each other as they waited in line, their faces glowing in the warm light of the setting sun. Jack watched Timmy chat with some kids, feeling a bittersweet tug in his heart. Each normal, joyful moment was a stark reminder of what he had fought for all along. How could life be so joyful, yet so complicated? As they reached the counter, Timmy pointed to a swirl of bright colors. "Can I get rainbow sherbet?" "Sure. You should pick your second flavor, too," Jack said, feeling lighthearted. Timmy thought hard, the little furrow in his brow hilarious and endearing. "Okay, mint chocolate chip. That's a good combo, right?" "Solid choice," Jack said, grinning at his son's certainty. As they waited, he could feel the warmth and love of their community surrounding them like a comforting embrace. But as Jake paid for the ice creams, the echo of his stories began to settle deep within him, layers of heavy memories shaded in hues of uncertainty. He noticed a couple standing silently by the entrance, their expressions familiar yet troubled. It was the Andersons, a family he had grown up with. In the past few years, they had lost their son in a tragic accident, an unseen wound that never truly healed. Jack. Mr. Anderson stepped forward, his face lined with the weight of grief. Thank you for sharing, for putting your heart out there. It's easy for us to forget that we're not the only ones fighting battles. Jack's heart broke a little at the words. Here stood someone who had experienced loss more profound than his own. You're welcome, but I can't take credit for what you have been through. Your strength inspires me. Mrs. Anderson stepped forward, her gentle hands resting on Jack's arm. We're all united in this, Jack. It may seem like we're only wading through our own struggles, but it's comforting to know that others carry the same burdens, even if differently. Sometimes, Jack said quietly, it takes one voice to spark another. They exchanged nods of understanding, a moment fortified by shared pain and compassion. As they finally walked away, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that today was just the beginning. Would he be ready to help others carry their own burdens? Could he be the voice others needed? While he felt lighter, those shadows loomed closer, reminding him that the past wasn't something you could simply leave behind. The last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, marking the end of a bright day yet leaving a lingering uncertainty in the twilight. What awaited him tomorrow? And how many stories still needed to be told, his and others? Jack felt a sense of earnest urgency wash over him. It wasn't just about sharing, it was about reaching and connecting, lending a hand during times of darkness. As they enjoyed their ice cream, Timmy looked up and asked, Are you okay, Dad? You seem a little far away. Jack smiled, ruffling Timmy's hair again, but inside, a storm was brewing. Just thinking, buddy. There's a lot we can do together to help others. Like superheroes? Timmy's eyes sparkled with excitement. Exactly, Jack said, feeling a new determination grow within him. Just like superheroes. Yet that lingering question loomed, who would save him from his own past? As they polished off their ice cream, Jack watched the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. Timmy was in his own world, giggling with newfound friends, momentarily unburdened by the complexities that shadowed adult lives. The laughter of children rang around them, a sweet symphony of innocence. Dad. Look at this. Timmy's voice broke through Jack's thoughts. He turned to see his son standing tall, posing like a superhero, a rainbow-colored cone in one hand and a dramatic expression on his face. Are you fighting ice cream villains? Jack chuckled, unable to resist the joy radiating from his boy. Of course. The villain of Brain Freeze. Timmy declared, dramatically shoving the cone to his mouth before dramatically pretending to struggle with the ice cream's icy grip. Laughter bubbled out of Jack. It was moments like this that reminded him why he fought for happiness. Yet, amidst the fleeting joy, a heaviness tugged in Jack's heart. The memory of the Andersons loomed large. Their loss, their grief, it never left him. He glanced at Timmy, a haunting thought crossing his mind. How could he preserve Timmy's innocence? How could he protect him from the pain that life inevitably brought? Dad, can we walk to the park? Timmy asked, snapping Jack from his thoughts. Sure. Let us go, he replied, taking Timmy's sticky hand as they strolled away from the ice cream stand. The neighborhood park was filled with families enjoying the evening, the laughter of children mingling with the distant sounds of music. Jack breathed in the familiar scent of grass and blooming flowers, but his mind danced in different directions. Each step was a reminder of the struggles that lay ahead, the weight of his voice now heavier than ever. They reached the playground, where Timmy instantly joined a game of tag. Jack leaned back against a nearby tree, his gaze drifting over the scene. As he watched children chase one another, he felt a flicker of something, an urge to share his voice. But then, doubt followed. What if his words didn't matter? Jack's eyes landed on a small gathering of parents, talking softly under the flickering glow of the park's lights. Something about their body language spoke of shared stories, and he suddenly felt drawn toward them, like a moth to a flame. Stay close, buddy. Jack called to Timmy as he made his way over. The conversation was tentative, a mix of laughter and deeper emotions, voices filled with concern and understanding. "Did you hear about the fundraiser next week?" one parent asked. "Yeah, it's important. We need to support the local families," another said. Jack's heart quickened. This was the chance to connect. He opened his mouth, ready to dive in when someone knocked into his shoulder. "Sorry, mate," a cheerful voice exclaimed. It was Eric, an old friend from high school. "Eric. Wow, it's been forever." Jack's smile was genuine, a rush of warmth flooding over him. The two exchanged stories about life, their children, and struggles. Amid the friendly banter, Jack felt a connection forming, the kind that reminded him of the community they were a part of. Yet, as critical as those connections were, they couldn't shake the burden he carried. "What's next for you, Jack? Any big plans?" Eric asked, knocking him out of his thoughts again. "Trying to find my way, you know?" Jack replied, hesitating. I think there's more I need to say and do." "You always had a gift for words," Eric said, clapping a hand on Jack's back. "Use them, man. You might be surprised at what comes from it." Jack nodded, but doubt gnawed at his insides. Could his words really make a difference? Timmy ran up, panting and beaming. "Dad, I want to tell everyone that we can be superheroes too. Can I?" Before Jack could respond, Timmy dashed away to gather his little friends, his voice ringing out across the park. Watching him, Jack felt a swell of joy mixed with trepidation. Could he embrace the same boldness his son displayed so effortlessly? As laughter erupted from the playground, Jack's heart raced. It was time to step out of his shadow. Could he transform his pain into a voice that would empower others, just like his son was doing instinctively? He took a deep breath, feeling that storm brewing within him, ready to find his words. What if tomorrow brought the opportunity to speak, to inspire, or even to heal? As Timmy's contagious cheer spread through the air, Jack stood poised for change, finally ready to confront his past and ready to embark on the journey of his voice. Would he have the courage to share his story? Timmy gathered his friends, a small but enthusiastic bunch. Their faces lit up under the soft glow of the park lights as they formed a little circle, all eyes on Timmy. "Okay, guys. Let's show everyone how we can be superheroes," he shouted, his tiny chest puffing out with determination. Jack stood at the edge, watching. His heart swelled with pride, but anxiety clutched at him. What would his son say? Would this simple moment somehow spark something in Jack? The kids cheered, bouncing on their toes, and Timmy began his tale. "Being a superhero means helping others. We can clean up the park or help someone who's sad." His friends nodded, some chanting "yeah" in agreement, caught up in the excitement. Jack felt the air thicken around him. Timmy's innocence was a beacon of hope. The words poured from his son's mouth like music, capturing the attention of parents nearby. Jack could see that the laughter and joy radiating from Timmy spread to others, a ripple effect of childhood wonder. But just as quickly, the doubts crept back in. Jack's fingers scratched nervously at a loose thread on his t-shirt. How could he ever express what Timmy seemed to say so effortlessly? Eric, still standing beside him, grinned. "You better listen closely, Jack. He's onto something here." As Timmy continued, Jack felt a sense of urgency. The words twisted inside him, wanting out. He thought back to the conversations he'd had, the stories shared about loss, hope, and community. They were all waiting for him to speak up, to join in on what was already unfolding in front of him. Timmy's voice rang out, "We can be heroes by showing kindness." Those simple words flicked a switch within Jack. He imagined standing among friends, parents, and families, sharing his heart. What if he could use this moment, this movement of joy that Timmy had sparked? Just as Timmy said, "You don't need a cape to spread kindness," Jack felt something shift. He stepped forward, at first uncertain. All those heavy feelings he had carried felt lighter now, drifting off his shoulders with each step. "Timmy," he called, his voice louder than he meant it to be. The children turned, curious gazes glued to him. "What's up, Dad?" Timmy replied, tilting his head. Can I have a shot at being a superhero too? Jack asked, his heart pounding as he fought back the emotion threatening to spill over. The kids jeered again, urging him on. Jack felt the weight of their eyes, the trust and hope. A long time ago, life taught me that we all face battles. Some are invisible. But together, we can be a strength for one another. Just like Timmy said. He took a breath, feeling the energy shift around them, a potential for a shared connection. I lost friends, people close to me who loved fiercely. And now, I want to honor them by being here for each of you. The playground went quiet. Even the laughter of distant children faded as they registered his words. Then one child piped up, "Can we be superheroes together?" Jack smiled, warmed by the innocent enthusiasm. Absolutely. Let us dedicate our superhero squad to kindness. As they all cheered in agreement, a sense of unity enveloped the group. It was small, but it was powerful, the beating heart of a community ready to support each other. Jack looked around, noticing the small shifts in the parents who had paused their conversations to listen. Timmy clutched Jack's hand, his eyes gleaming. See, Dad? You can be a superhero too. At that moment, Jack realized he was caught in the wave of transformation that surrounded him. His voice, tentative at first, was part of something greater. It was only the beginning, a step forward in a world he'd long contemplated speaking into. Suddenly, Jack was struck with a thought: what if their superhero movement could grow? What if they could inspire even more families to join in? As the laughter returned and the park lit up with possibilities, he felt the storm within him shift. The spark had ignited, and now, he could no longer hold back. What would the next step be? How could he channel this newfound energy into something bigger for the community, for Timmy, and for himself? Tomorrow, everything could change. The chance to really become a voice for the voiceless loomed just ahead, and Jack was ready. What would he say next? The next morning, the sun peeked over the rooftops, casting warm rays across the park where Jack had felt so alive the night before. He sat at the small kitchen table, staring at the last bite of toast on his plate, lost in thought. The conversation from yesterday buzzed in his mind. What had started as mere words from Timmy had turned into a plan, a mission. Hey, Dad. Timmy's voice broke through his reverie. He bounded into the kitchen, wild hair tousled, eyes sparkling with excitement. Can we start our superhero mission today? Jack's heart swelled at his son's enthusiasm. Absolutely, buddy. What do you think we should start with? Timmy thought for a moment, strokes his chin like a true superhero might. We need to tell everyone. The park is just the beginning. Yes. We can make flyers. Jack suggested, feeling the creative energy rise between them. He grabbed some paper and markers, and together they sketched out their ideas. Let us call it the Superhero Squad of Kindness. Timmy exclaimed, his voice bursting with energy. Each word felt like a jolt to Jack, uplifting and profound. It wasn't just a name, it was a rallying cry. The two spent the morning designing flyers, drawing capes, stars, and hearts all around the text. They wrote, "Join us. We're the Superhero Squad of Kindness. Let us make our community brighter." With every crayon stroke, Jack realized he wasn't just helping his son, he was healing himself too. After they printed out the flyers, Jack felt a wave of nervousness wash over him. Where do we go first, Timmy? Timmy jumped out of his chair, full of excitement. The neighborhood. We need to spread the word to everyone. They want to be superheroes too. Hand in hand, they ventured outside. The sun smiled upon them, while butterflies danced in the air. Jack observed the world around him differently now, spotting little acts of kindness, the woman helping an elderly man with his groceries, the kids giving flowers to their teachers. They stopped at nearby houses, sticking the flyers on doors and talking to families. To Jack's surprise, parents warmed up quickly to the idea. He saw the spark in their eyes mirror that of his son. This is so great. One mother chimed in, excitement radiating from her. We could organize a park cleanup this weekend. As they moved from house to house, Jack's confidence grew. With each conversation, he shared not only his ideas but also the stories of the friends he had lost, weaving them into his pitch. He urged each person to consider how they could contribute, and they listened, nodding thoughtfully. After hours of walking, their bag of flyers was nearly empty, and he felt a shift in the air. The people weren't just buying into an idea, they were connecting. When they returned home, Jack's heart felt lighter than it had in years. "We did it, Timmy. We got the word out." Timmy beamed, his lips stretching into a wide smile. "We're real superheroes now." "But what's next?" Jack laughed. "Now we take it to the next level. Meeting at the park tomorrow to kick things off." His son bounced on his feet. "And we can invite everyone. It'll be epic." "What if we do something special to kick it off?" Jack's mind raced. Special, a celebration, a gathering of superheroes united. But what would that look like? The challenge excited him. "Timmy," Jack said, looking into his son's big, eager eyes. "Let's plan something big. A heroic event to start our movement. We can show them what kindness looks like, but we need to think a little bigger." Timmy nodded vigorously, inspiration glowing in his eyes. "Like what?" Jack's heart raced at the possibilities swirling before him like confetti. Dreams danced on the edge of his thoughts. A kindness festival. Games, fun, and sharing our stories. A way to connect everyone. Timmy's breath hitched with excitement. Yes. They will love it. As the sun set, illuminating the colors of hope, Jack felt that familiar rush of purpose. He glanced at Timmy, who was already scribbling down ideas. What they were doing was more than just words, it was a movement, a way to honor all they had lost while celebrating how to live, love, and give together. But in the depths of Jack's mind, a lingering question echoed, would it be enough? Would their small festival ignite a lasting change in their community, or would it fizzle like so many ideas before? Tomorrow, they'd find out. As he tucked Timmy into bed, Jack felt a tremble of anticipation. What magic might unfold when they shared their dreams with everyone? The sun rose and painted the morning sky with strokes of orange and pink. Jack stood in the living room looking out the window, his heart racing with anticipation. Today was the day they'd launch their kindness festival. He turned to find Timmy already bursting with energy as he bounded down the stairs. "Dad! Today's the day!" Timmy shouted, his voice filled with excitement. "I know, buddy. We have a lot to do," Jack replied, smiling at his son's enthusiasm. He had barely finished his coffee when Timmy reminded him about the decorations they would need. After rushing through breakfast, they gathered supplies, balloons, streamers, and colorful tablecloths. Each item felt like a sprinkle of hope that would help make their dream come true. "Do you remember last night, Dad? You said we could make the park so cheerful," Timmy exclaimed, pulling on his cape that he had insisted on wearing. "Yes, and we should make it fun for everyone," Jack agreed. "Let us not forget the signs and games, too." They piled into Jack's car, the trunk filled with bags ready to transform the park. The drive felt like a mini adventure. Timmy rattled on about the games they'd set up, from sack races to a bean-bag toss. Jack's heart soared. The idea was growing more vivid with each passing moment. As they pulled into the park, Jack felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. The sound of laughter carried through the air, and families were already gathering. Excitement swirled around them, but Jack couldn't shake off the nagging doubt, what if no one showed up? Timmy leapt out of the car, eyes wide. "Look at all the people, Dad. They're here to be superheroes." Jack followed his son's gaze and his heart surged. People from the neighborhood had come, carrying their own supplies. It was more than he had hoped for. "Let us get started," he called out, clapping his hands together. They set up booths and game stations, lost in the joyful chaos of children's laughter and parents chatting. Jack found himself helping a group of kids get a giant sign in place that read, "Welcome to the Kindness Festival." As noon rolled around, Jack surveyed the park. Colorful banners waved in the breeze. He caught sight of neighbors working together, setting up tables, sharing snacks, or even painting faces. It was a vibrant tapestry woven from countless threads of community spirit. Then, Timmy stood on a makeshift stage, hands in the air to grab everyone's attention. Superheroes! Thank you for coming. Today is about kindness. Let us help each other. His little voice crackled with sincerity that resonated deeply in the crowd. Jack watched, overwhelmed. He realized this wasn't just a festival, it was an awakening. Families were bonding, people who had once been strangers were now united under a common purpose. As Jack looked into the crowd, he could see smiles, laughter, and a few tears of joy. People began to share their stories, kind acts they had witnessed. Jack felt a wave of relief wash over him. This was real change. But it didn't last long. As the festivities continued, a woman approached him, concern etched on her face. Jack, I overheard something earlier. Some kids are planning a rival festival next week. They think kindness is a joke. Jack's heart sank. The joy around him suddenly felt fragile. He squeezed his son's hand tightly, imagining his world shattering. What do we do? With every festivity around him, he knew they had ignited something powerful. But one rival festival could unravel their efforts. He looked to Timmy, who was still glowing with excitement. Time felt suspended. Jack took a deep breath. We have to show them how kindness could change everything. We can't let this stop us from spreading the love. Then let us make our festival even bigger. Timmy shouted, energy bubbling back through him. Jack smiled, determination flooding his chest. The fight was on, and they wouldn't back down now. But how far were they willing to go to stand up for kindness? The answer lingered on the edge of his thoughts. One thing was certain, they weren't just fighting for themselves, but for everyone who believed in kindness. As the sun began to set, a new challenge loomed ahead. Could they inspire even the doubters to be a part of something greater? Jack's heart raced again, but it wasn't just excitement, there was urgency. The laughter, the joy, all of it felt at risk. He knelt to Timmy's level, looking into those bright blue eyes that sparkled with hope. Buddy, we need to rally everyone. This festival needs more than games, it needs passion and strength. Timmy cocked his head to the side, processing his father's words. You mean we need to show them why kindness is super important? Exactly. Jack replied, feeling a sense of clarity wash over him. If they wanted to counter the cynicism of those planning the rival festival, they needed to be louder, bolder. Let us not just have fun today. Let us inspire them, make them feel what we're feeling. He saw a group of kids nearby still setting up games. Jack stood and walked over, Timmy hot on his heels. Hey everyone, he called out. The kids paused, glancing up from their tasks. We need your help. We're going to share what kindness really means, not only to us but to everyone watching. A buzz of excitement rippled through the group. What do we do? A girl with bright green braids asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. We're going to make them a part of this festival. Timmy shouted, his tiny hands clasped in front of him. Let us all gather stories of kindness and share them. As the plan unfolded, Jack felt the energy shift. They set up a storytelling booth where people could come and share their experiences, their moments that changed them, sparked by kindness. Timmy's enthusiasm was infectious as he moved through the crowd, inviting everyone to speak. Everyone has a story, he announced. This is how we show the doubters that kindness is strong. Parents soon began to join in, drawn by their children's laughter and eagerness. Stories poured forth like a flowing river. An elderly man spoke about how a stranger had helped him carry groceries. A mom shared how her son had given away his toy to a classmate who was feeling left out. Each tale was like a patch stitched onto the quilt of their community. Jack stood back for a moment, watching as the festival blossomed into something greater than he ever imagined. With each story, he saw the crowd grow tighter, newfound bonds forming. There was a realization that this festival wasn't just about promoting kindness, it was about showcasing the heart of the community. But, Just as the tide of joy seemed to reach its peak, a group of older kids swaggered into the park loud and brash. Jack's pulse quickened as he braced himself for a confrontation. They were the ones who planned the rival festival. "What's with this lame kindness stuff, huh?" one of them sneered, arms crossed defiantly. "You really think this will make a difference? People don't care about kindness." Timmy stepped forward, unyielding, heart pounding in his small chest. "It matters because it connects us. You'll see it's not lame at all." Jack felt a surge of pride for his son. Timmy's bravery was contagious, but could a simple conviction be enough to cut through the doubt and negativity? As the rival kids laughed and poked fun, Jack noticed something unusual. Those gathered around Timmy were not backing down. Instead, they began to speak up, sharing their own anecdotes on how kindness had touched their lives. It was an unexpected ripple effect, a wave of strength. He realized that despite the antagonism, the seeds of their festival were taking root, even among skeptics. But Jack also knew there was more to do. How could they truly bring them together? Caught between admiration for his son's bravery and dread for what might unfold next, Jack felt the urge to act fast. He took a deep breath, sensing an opportunity. "Timmy, what if we turn this into a challenge? A kindness challenge? Let us show them the power of love." The crowd murmured, curiosity mixing with uncertainty. The mood shifted as hope began to envelop the group. With the sun dipping lower in the sky, and shadows creeping in, could their festival truly withstand the storm brewing among these rivals? Jack's heart raced once more, but this time it was laced with determination. "Let us create something even stronger tonight," he declared, emotions tightly knit within him. The battle lines were drawn, the stakes raised higher than ever. There was no turning back now. As the sun set, illuminating their path forward, would they manage to shift perspectives and turn adversaries into allies? As the sun sank lower, casting long shadows across the park, an air of determination swept through the crowd. Jack could feel it, a stirring hope that crackled like electricity. "All right everyone," he said, his voice steady yet warm. "Let us make this challenge fun. Who here has a kindness act they can perform right now?" Hands shot up. Kids leaped forward, eager to share ideas. A girl suggested they write kind notes and leave them in unexpected places for people to find. Another boy proposed a dance-off with a twist. Each participant had to perform their best move after shouting out something nice about a friend. Timmy's eyes sparkled as he bounced on his feet, thrilled by the energy. "Let us do it. One act of kindness leads to another." Jack watched as laughter erupted, the crowd united by a single thread: kindness. The rival kids lingered, still skeptical but drawn in by the infectious spirit. Jack could feel the tide turning. "Okay, let us start with a kind note treasure hunt," Timmy announced, grabbing a stack of bright paper and markers. The crowd split into groups, energy transforming the park. Jack moved among them, heart swelling as he saw children and adults writing notes together, words of encouragement, gratitude, and hope. Nearby, the older kids whispered among themselves. Jack noticed a flicker of curiosity on their faces. He hoped that underneath the bravado, they were questioning their earlier scorn. As Timmy read aloud a particularly touching note, a hush fell over the group. "You are loved. Even on your worst days, you matter to someone." A murmur of agreement roiled through the crowd. It was like the chilly breeze had ignited warmth in their hearts. The rival kids began to move closer. Jack felt a surge of anxiety, tempered by hope. Would they mock it? Join it? To his surprise, one of the older boys stepped forward, a hesitant smile breaking through his tough exterior. I want to try something," he said. "What if I do a kindness act right now? Would you guys help?" Gasps of disbelief rippled through the crowd. But Jack watched his son step forward, unwavering. "Yes. What can we do to help?" The older boy explained how he wanted to apologize to a friend he had treated harshly recently. It was raw and honest. Jack felt pride swell in his chest. It was a beautiful moment of vulnerability. With Timmy by his side, they orchestrated the plan. A small circle formed, and everyone watched, anticipation hanging in the air like the dusk. As the older boy stepped forward to his friend, he spoke, trembling but sincere. "I'm sorry for being mean. I want to change that." When his friend accepted the apology, the crowd erupted into cheers. Jack felt a tear slip down his cheek, overwhelmed by the visceral shift before him. Could this kindness challenge even heal hearts? As darkness settled in, fairy lights twinkled to life above them like stars just beginning to sparkle. Conversations buzzed, laughter echoed, and stories danced in the air. It felt like magic. Jack took a moment, glancing at Timmy. The boy beamed with pride, embodying the total transformation of the festival. Nothing seemed impossible now. But just as a wave of optimism washed over him, a sudden loud shout cut through. "Hey! Don't get too cozy. This fight isn't over." Jack's heart dropped. The rival festival wasn't backing down just because kindness was taking root tonight. With all eyes on him, Jack realized they stood at a crossroads. Would they stand strong against the looming threat, or would the rival festival tear them apart? The stakes had risen once more. How would they protect the bonds they just created? The festival was alive and it was ready for a showdown. Jack felt a surge of determination wash over him as he stood at the center of the park, surrounded by families sharing laughter and stories. The warmth of the connections they had forged filled him with hope, but the taunting of the rival festival reminded him that their journey had just begun. He glanced around at the bright lights, the colorful kindness booth Timmy had created, and felt a fervor ignite within him. They had the strength of community on their side. "All right, everyone. Gather round," Jack called, his voice ringing with resolve. The laughter faded into eager whispers, faces lifting toward him. "We've started something incredible here tonight. Kindness isn't just a theme, it's a lifestyle. We can stand strong together. Are you all in?" A unified cheer rose up, energy electrifying the air. Each voice blended together a chorus of hope that shattered the wall of doubt. Families pulled closer, united in purpose. They were warriors of kindness prepared to protect the mission they'd begun. Timmy nestled up beside his grandfather, eyes wide with excitement. "What do we do now, Dad?" His simple question echoed loud in Jack's heart. Jack turned to Timmy, feeling unwavering support through their bond. "We show them that kindness can't be mocked or diminished. We reach out, and we remind everyone why we're doing this. We need to expand our kindness challenge and invite the rivals to join us." Timmy blinked, considering the plan. "But what if they don't want to?" Jack knelt beside him. "Then we need to ask why. Maybe they've never felt accepted or understood. Maybe they're hurting in ways we can't see. Our job is to show them that kindness can overcome any darkness." Encouraged by Timmy's nod of understanding, Jack turned back to the group, the pulse of the crowd twisting with anticipation. "We want to invite our rivals to be a part of this. If they're willing to join our kindness challenge, we'll show them how real connections can come from shared experiences, not resentment. Who else with me?" Another cheer erupted, igniting Jack's heart. The children bounced on their toes, excitement bubbling forth among the adults too. As he gathered a small team of eager kids, they mapped out a plan to approach the rival festival members for a peaceful showdown, one that would blend both visions into a collaborative celebration of kindness. With every footstep that brought him closer to the other side of the park, Jack felt the weight of what they were risking. What if they didn't accept? What if animosity took the lead? But as he approached the group of rival kids, there was an undeniable spark of vulnerability and potential. "Hey! We'd like to talk," Jack called, raising his hand slightly to show peace. The rival kids eyed him warily, but curiosity bubbled in their gazes. "Why should we?" One of the boys scoffed, crossing his arms. "Because kindness isn't about our differences," Jack said, his voice calm but firm. "It's about connection. We thought it would be incredible if we could take part in a kindness challenge together. Imagine what we could create." Silence enveloped them, tension rippling through the air. Jack could feel Timmy's hand grip his tightly. One of the older kids stepped forward. "What would that even mean?" We could come together, share stories of our experiences, and celebrate what makes us human. Let us highlight acts of kindness we've seen, even the smallest things. Together, Jack urged. This is about something greater than any rivalry. It's about being part of a real community, all of us. The rival kids exchanged glances, pondering the weightfulness of his words. Jack held his breath, praying this was the moment to shift the tide. Finally, one of the girls in the rival group spoke up, her voice quiet but firm. What if we really did this together? It might not be so bad. A murmur of agreement flooded through their ranks. Hope ignited once more within Jack's heart, his voice continued to flow. Exactly. Let us challenge each other to spread kindness in ways that matter. Each of us could gain a deeper understanding of the impact of compassion. Are you in? A mix of apprehension and excitement hung in the air, but one by one, the rival kids nodded. Jack could feel Timmy's warmth beside him. Together, they had woven a new tapestry, breaking barriers left in the wake of worried. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the park transformed into a sparkling sanctuary, glowing with determination and newfound friendships. Jack could hear the chatter around him, laughter now uniting rivals with friends, a beautiful chorus of connection. Parents began to share stories with one another, discussions blossoming amidst the gathered crowd. Jack felt a tear trickle down his cheek, filled with the bittersweet joy of what they had achieved. Community, purpose, had triumphed. When Timmy squeezed his hand tighter, Jack looked down, meeting his son's eager gaze. See, Dad? Kindness isn't a joke at all. No, it's a superpower, Jack replied, bounded by a warmth he never thought possible. As the twinkling lights danced above them, Jack knew this was just the start. They had ignited a fire of change and invitation to everyone who hungered for connection. He glimmered at the future, not fearful anymore, but hopeful. Life would always have its challenges, but together, they could withstand any storm. And they did, for kindness was just beginning. As the festival carried on, Jack felt an electrifying sense of accomplishment. He had faced his fears, revealed his vulnerabilities, and taken a stand, but more importantly, he had embraced the gift of community. And as he reveled in the laughter and joy, he realized they had laid a foundation for something beautiful, a movement that could reshape their world. Jack glanced down at Timmy, his tiny hero, and smiled. Let us promise to keep this going, buddy. Forever. Forever. Timmy echoed gleefully, their hearts bound in an unbreakable dream. Together, their paths would intertwine through every moment of hope, through every story shared, and through every act of kindness moving forward to inspire others to remember the power of connection, and the grace of love. The night felt alive, and the world felt brighter as they joined hands, ready to embark on a brand new journey. Now more than ever, the urgency spread through Jack's heart. This was just the beginning. The call for kindness and connection would echo loud across Maplewood, a united chorus reminding everyone, kindness was truly a superpower. And one thing was crystal clear, they were ready to change their world, one heart at a time. As they danced under the stars, Jack felt a fresh wave of courage welling up inside him. Tomorrow awaited, brimming with promise. It was their time to shine. Don't wait not even one more second. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that inspire transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm so we can reach more hearts. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Your voice matters. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation together. We can change the world. You need to subscribe now and stand with us in this journey.